What's up, everybody? It's Valkerion, and today we're going to talk about Saints Row 2022. Saints Row came out last year to pretty middling reviews, and a lot of people didn't really resonate with it. The series is known for being really over the top and silly, and kind of a GTA clone that everyone kind of enjoyed more than GTA almost, in the sense that it was just a parody of it and fun. Well, the series started way back when, and it took kind of a break before this pseudo reboot and reimagining of the series came out. Once again, the series got pretty good reviews up until this game, and then this was kind of a big, not wake up call, but it was kind of a sad reinvention of the series. This was meant to be a really big redo for the series. What am I saying? I don't even know. Anyway, what's up, everybody? It's Valkerion, and today we're going to talk about Saints Row 2022. Saints Row came out last year to pretty middling reviews. A lot of people didn't really enjoy it as much as they were hoping to enjoy it, or maybe they wanted more out of it than they got. Personally, I've never played the Saints Row series, so I went into this one without many expectations other than knowing that it's a pretty over-the-top and silly open-world GTA clone. So when the game first started up, I was pretty into it because the story missions themselves are really over the top and silly. Like this opening mission, you get into a gunfight at a Wild West amusement park, and you ride on top of a jet. There's lots of explosions. It's really silly and dumb. And a lot of the story missions themselves kind of keep that general theme going on. The more you play it, the more wild and silly the scenarios, for the most part, get. But outside of the main story moments, that's where the game kind of really started to lose me personally. Saints Row is an open world game, and in most open world games you get lots of different side quests and tasks that you can do for that good old 100% completion. I didn't go for 100%. I never would in an open world game. I'm granted, let me preface this with, I'm not a really big open world fan, but I still wanted to jump into this one. It's one that I was curious about when it released last year, and even with its middling reviews, it never really left the back of my mind. So now that it's finally available on the PlayStation Network as a Game of the Month download, I jumped in, started playing it, and I kind of enjoyed my time with it to an extent. So Saints Row, like I said, the main story quests are where the most fun in this game was for me. Not only are the cutscenes and story reasons for what's going on really silly and stupid, and the characters are really over the top, but also just the scenarios that they put you in, the gunfights, the amount of enemies, the chaos of everything that's going on, it all just works. And then you look at the side quests, and the side quests just don't really have much going on. Even in the side quests that are supposed to be like crazy moments where like there's supposed to be lots of enemies or lots of things to do, they're just kind of one note and not all that interesting. And that's kind of where a lot of things start to rear their ugly head with this series, or not the series, but just this game in particular. It doesn't feel very ambitious. Like everything is just kind of fine. That's what I would say about this game overall. It's just fine. Even 1 year later, after a bunch of patches, some DLC that I didn't play because I'm not paying for DLC, it just kind of not fell flat, just didn't really do more than what it was trying to do. And I think that's sometimes fine, but in this case, it just wasn't that interesting. I think I saw one reviewer say, like way back when, or a year ago, say that Saints Row feels like a game that's not really pushing itself forward. And I think I agree with that wholeheartedly. Saints Row isn't really pushing anything forward in terms of its quest design, in terms of its visuals, in terms of its audio, in terms of its gameplay. Nothing's really getting pushed forward. And like I said, Saints Row is over the top, and it's supposed to be a more humorous game, and I'm not gonna lie, it got a chuckle out of me in a lot of moments. There's like lots of silliness in it, like home shopping and buying a bunch of knives because you're depressed. Silly, right? Silly, but not haha, like I'm dying laughing funny. And that's kind of the entire vibe of the whole game. Like there are moments that are making me chuckle, but I'm not like laughing. And that's fine because humor and like fear and like getting scared in games and whatnot, that's all subjective. But in Saints Row, it's very subjective. But let's just jump into the gameplay stuff. Like the driving mechanics in Saints Row are pretty bad. I hate driving in this game. The cars and just everything that has to do with driving has no weight to it. As you can see, I'm like supposed to be like pulling this trailer, and this container is just flying all over the place. And there are certain missions where you have to protect the container because the container can like take damage and whatnot. And they just get like stuck on cars, or they get stuck in the physics or the geometry of the world, and they just take a million damage. And then you end up failing the mission and having to redo it because of that. The game itself is just filled with moments like that. And like I said, this game is just kind of technically messy in lots of different areas. And one of the ways that it's messy is just kind of the general car physics and the general physics of what's happening around you. It's just not weighted, or just doesn't feel proper. Even in a game that's supposed to be silly, it's a little too loose. But still, it didn't super detract from my enjoyment of the game in any real way. It just kind of was okay in all aspects. And then there's the shooting mechanics. The general shooting mechanics in Saints Row are fine. It's pretty no-frills shooting. You aim, you shoot, if you get a headshot, you do extra damage. Some enemies have some armor that you have to whittle down and that you have to get through before you can take them down. There are some melee hits. There are some extra attacks that you can do, like throw grenades. You can do like a move where you like throw people. You attach a grenade to them and throw them. You can do like a fire punch. There are takedowns that you can use to restore your health. Nothing really special, but nothing really terrible at the same time. Saints Row is just kind of okay in all aspects in terms of its combat and just like game design as you're moving around and whatnot. You can also place certain locations on the map for like the take over the city type of mode and whatnot. And once you set these up, they unlock a series of side quest chains, and some of them do have some like interesting stories to them. I personally really like the LARPing one, where you and your friend dress up as LARPers and you run around shooting Nerf guns at people. Let's see if I can find that clip. I don't know if I can, because I have it set to random. So, but those are personally my personal favorite side quests because it's really silly and stupid, and it kind of really leans in on to the fun of Saints Row and how it just doesn't take itself very seriously. But that's kind of where the good points end. Other than that, Saints Row is a pretty big technical mess. There's a lot of you can see the strings of this game very easily. Even after 1 year being out and available in like several months of patches, you can still see the strings and the holes in the game design in this game pretty clearly. I saw, like I said, a reviewer said this game felt dated and like something from the series hasn't really evolved really or like leveled up, so to speak. And I kind of agree with that. Or at least it feels like it. This game feels like it's from not the PlayStation 2 era, but maybe the PlayStation 3 era in a lot of ways. It just doesn't really work as well as you would hope it would work. And one of the things that contributes to that, just like seeing various things break, the gameplay not really working as clean and smoothly as you would hope it would. Another thing is like the cutscenes. The cutscenes they're fine until you like really sit down with them. Some cutscenes have music and it really sets the mood, and some cutscenes don't. Many don't actually have like music or ambient sound going on, and it just really detracts from what's going on in the cutscene. And one of the big things that was probably the biggest detractory point of this game is the audio. The audio design in this game is super skewed. I don't know if it's a PlayStation 5 thing, I don't know if it's a console thing, I don't know if people have patched it or modded it on the PC. Saints Row has really bad audio. The main character is super loud. The cars and guns are super low, so it has no impact whatsoever. And just everything about it is just kind of jank in that respect. But that said, like I said, the story moments are really over the top and fun. Some of the side quests, like the LARPing stuff, is fun. But on average, a lot of the side quests aren't that interesting, and the main quests themselves just kind of feel like they're a little overextended in a lot of ways. Like they just can't like let them be a little more focused and concise. But is Saints Row worth playing, even after a year of patches and like some fixes? Not really. I think Saints Row's issues were baked in from start. This game's gameplay and driving mechanics and shooting mechanics and whatnot, they're just not anything that special. I do think the characters themselves and the story is quite humorous when it wants to be. I don't think it's the most, like I wasn't dying laughing or anything, but it got a good chuckle out of me sometimes with like how silly it is. But that's about it. Like, just other than that, Saints Row is just kind of, it feels flat. It feels flat. That's what I would say it is. It's a flat game. It's a game that just feels flat. It's not terrible in any particular aspect, but it's not great either. And then there's also some of the visual bugs. This game has like various visual modes, like most games do these days on console. If you put it on 4K, there's like tons of visual bugs and glitches, like characters like shadows flickering, the reflections not working. It's just really weird stuff going on in this game. I think this scene you can see like my character's reflection is reflected into the sunglasses, but it's the character's own face being like, it's not a real reflection, it's just mirroring the face of the own character onto the glasses. It's so stupid. It's so dumb and has so many like random technical bugs like this. And stuff like this doesn't truly take away from the experience, and I'm kind of ranting through this because I have no script and I don't really know what I want to say about it, just other than I was playing it, so why not? This game is not great. It's not great, but it's not terrible, and I think if you're interested in this game and you do have PlayStation Network access, this game is available for you. You can jump in and get a few hours in and see if you enjoy it. Personally, I thought the story mode missions were fine enough to finish those, but I don't think a lot of the side content is worth it. The driving and whatnot is just pretty bad, and the game's progression is just fine. I don't love this game, but I don't hate it. I kind of agree with a lot of the reviews of this game after playing it and just kind of thinking about it and just talking about it in this video right here. It's not great. This game itself is not great. I think if you're a Saints Row fan, I can see this being disappointing, but if you're just wanting an open world game to mess around with, it's fine. I wouldn't pay a lot of money for it. And it sucks also because this, like I said, this game's been out a year and it's had a year of work put into it, or a couple of months anyway. It has some DLC and whatnot. And it sucks because like a few days before this actually came out, this game's studio or creator, Volition, was shut down permanently by the Embracer Group who bought them. Saints Row just kind of was like the final nail in the coffin for that studio, sadly, and it sucks because Volition has been around for like 30 years and they've made other good games. Like the other Saints Row games are quite highly regarded. So maybe you should play one of those, like one of the remasters or re-releases, because I believe 3 and 4 have been re-released, so that's good. But this one, not so much. Like I said, this video wasn't really prompted or planned. I just kind of sat down and recorded it because I had time. So I hope you enjoyed this check-in of this game. It's not worth full price, but if you can get it on a discount, I think it offers some level of fun if you just want an open world game to just mess around in that doesn't take itself seriously. While you wait for GTA 6 or whatever game you're taking a break from, just needed a break from. Like this kind of hit initially well, or I was regarding this fairly well because I've been playing lots of RPGs and I just needed a break from the RPG melodrama and just wanted to play something silly. But sadly, this game isn't great, and that's fine. It's okay. It's okay. And if you're just looking for an okay game, Saints Row 2022 is that game. Anyway, that's going to be it for this video. Please like, sub, leave comments down below. Why did this game not hit for you? Did you enjoy it more than you thought you would, like I kind of did? Is it something you just dropped and like you didn't want to play anymore once you did start playing it? I don't know. Anyway, let me know down below. Let's talk about it, and I hope that you like, sub, hit the bell, and have an excellent day. Not a good day. Have an excellent day, and I hope to see you again next time.